Good day, everybody. Welcome to another video. So today I thought we were going to do some crafting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make these wonderful little things. Oops. So we're going to go ahead and make some of this. Now, we don't need to make it this size. I do have some smaller ones. I made these little tinier ones. You can actually, if you do it correctly, this one looks more like a butterfly, whereas this one looks more of a dragonfly. Like you get really creative with this one, and you can actually make some lovely jewelry out of it. Now, in the fact that this one here, as you could tell, though, this one is like an actual earring. Now, I would not personally probably be wearing any of this stuff. A lot of this I would probably eventually be giving away to some people that I know. But I mean, it is right, like, it literally is big. But if you're wearing a nice dress, it's a possibility. We would really kind of like, do stuff. Now I did show in my one thing, I do have these here. This is kind of like a set for like some peacock earrings. Now, I don't know if anybody likes peacocks, or I don't know, it's just kind of found a few things. I also have a few more things here. I just try, like, my inventory is so full, and here's the other kind of like butterfly thing. I did find some of my other ones. I didn't find everything. There's my other big earring. You really have to kind of like have like a large kind of like crafting box. I do have one here. These ones were from one video. This is actually the bracelet. I got like a whole container full, and I got another container full. This was just one of my simpler ones that I don't know if I ever showed a video on that one. I did do my video on this one. As many know, this one was kind of like a floral kind of like arrangement. And I also have kind of like this. These are kind of like kind of drop earrings and stuff like that. Now, a lot of these I didn't do videos on, as in like I do side crafting in the evenings. And a few videos I have done in the evenings, just as because I had some extra time, and I've done, say, several builds in the morning and stuff like that. I also did something like these ones here. These ones have kind of like a little like floral charm in the middle, and it was kind of really nice as well. This is the same as the other earrings, but this is just more of like a simpler kind of coloring and stuff like that. And I also do have these ones. Now, these ones are ones that would have taken me a lot longer, and I'm going to show you exactly the reason why. I was looking at on how to, kind of make some type of unique type of basing earring. So let me unhook this here. And as you can see, so like they're really quite lovely. Now, you don't need to use this particular style hook, as I don't really have very many hooks, so stuff like that. So with a lot of this is just one basically thread of beads doubled over, and I kind of rethreaded through again to kind of give it, like, you want a bit of a thickness between that, so when you're kind of molding it, you can actually make yourself some nice earrings. Now, I got my nail polish coat here, but I just used a tip for making like stuff. So when I'm kind of like making some of these earrings, I'll kind of go like that, and I'll kind of use that to mold like the shapes and stuff like that. So it kind of gives you kind of like that cross kind of thing. Now with this earring, you could add like little bits on the ends if you really want to go that far. I think I made a red pair of these at one point, but I really haven't really done. I did these ones here. This is really quite a lovely little pair here. And I also have some very simply kind of based ones. And I think that's about what covers most. Oh, and this one here. This is the other one. And it's kind of like the same one, but it's just like slightly different style. Now, it's not the end of it. I also got a whole kit of earrings and bracelets right here. I used my old sorting kit that had my beads, and I just kind of used it for earring storage and stuff like that. So like you can see, like there's so many different styles in there of earrings and stuff like that. Like a lot of it is kind of like, pretty simple stuff you could easily do at home. Like I said, I'm trying to get it so that you can understand like how hard some of these are to make and how easy some of these are to make. Like for instance, like these ones here, I would say easy. Same with like these ones. Yeah, still easy because like all it was is basically just your one pearl looped in, and then I kind of did a couple of those and I just looped it within with one another. So that was pretty easy to solve. I even got like little bracelets like this, stuff like that. It's got like a chain. I did find some loose chain around the house. That was fine. I also have some cherry drop earrings. Quite lovely. Really simple. Again, not that hard. I also have some earrings. Now, some of these are a little cramped because like I kind of did, cram them into a smaller space. I am looking at maybe finding some bigger storage for them. And then I got like these for some of the people who do like some of those things. The other thing I thought was kind of cute, and I thought it was kind of interesting to make, was something like this. And I think it was one video. So this is kind of nice for anybody who likes, kind of fruity kind of based items. And I even made this lovely little thing right here. It's a bracelet. You can see that. Quite lovely as well. Now, if I were to pair this one off, I would say probably with something like this. Like, because it kind of matches it. Or I do have quite a few different varieties. Like this is upside down, but here, let me see if I get this upside right. Yeah, there we go. There. Like even something like this, because it's kind of like the same style. I make a lot of earrings kind of like in the same kind of like style from parts of my crafting and stuff like that. But really use imagination when you want to like build something. Kind of figure, okay, what kind of style I'm going to go with, or maybe just something really random. If you really want to go like really super easy, but you need like say earrings in 2 minutes, you can make something like this. And it's kind of, I'm sorry, it's backwards here. It's kind of just a kidney hook. I guess they're called kidney hooks over a 3D charm, and it's right here, kind of. I guess you could say like a pastry, thing. That took me no more than like 30 seconds. Like you just basically thread through. You're done because kidney hooks are kind of like one of the few things where I'm going to show you my cat. There she is. Anyway, sweetheart. There you go. Kitty hooks are these. So you can see they kind of have like a little loop on the end. That's how fast it is like to make an earring set out of that. Some of the main ones that I use are basically my other hooks, and I showed you those. Those require just a little bit more patience, like just because you got to put a little loop on it and then you kind of thread through, stuff like that. I also have these. These are quite lovely. And so basically, yeah, besides that, it's basically some of my other basic small earrings and stuff like that. I got like I said, I showed you, I think these ones. These are kind of like sweetheart earrings. A lot of this stuff I kind of made for like kind of like kids styles is like I say, like I got very small wrists, so like I don't need big jewelry. I do wear big jewelry, but really the only thing I would go for big is kind of like my hoops. If I do find a nice pair, I've had so many pairs and they've broken over the years. It's kind of crazy, but that's quite a few in there, and that's not including what I just showed you on this side. Also too is like I have the starfish ones. I'm not sure if I posted that video. You may have to go back through all my stuff on that one. And I said like on all the basics. So anyway, this pair was actually one I did like a long time ago, and I kind of just found it. So, anyway, we're gonna put this all back. My cat's still kind of like, oh, I want that now. I'm just trying to get my cat not to scratch my furniture. And I do have like a tree fur scratch. So I'm kind of like trying to get her to stay away from my furniture. My mother-in-law, unfortunately, had passed away due to cancer. It was really unfortunate. So we got some nice furniture from her. And then we don't really want her, like, scratching that. So, like, we're trying to keep her away from that. And my little kid just ran past my foot. Anyway. So, if you're going to do, what we were going to say today is kind of like make a smaller version of the dragonfly earrings. I would say this is say easy medium kind of thing. And the reason for that is because you're going to be threading back through most of that. Now you don't need a tip curl this end if you don't really want to. Dragonflies kind of do curl their tails. So that's kind of what I was implying on that. So, I got everything so tangled from all my crafting and stuff like that. And I still got like all my kits. I got all that one there. We're also going to be using, this is the kit I was using for those. So we're going to probably use this today. And another thing I say what we could do today is we're also going to need, now I got like my mixed plate. I kind of just threw everything on there. I was like, yeah, okay, well, you know, I use it all anyway, so I may as well throw it on there. We're going to put these ones away, and we're just going to slip these into my my crafting storage here. I am getting some more supplies. I ordered on Temu, like I've said it many times. Really good deals. 4mm beads are going to be a little tricky for some, so be careful to go over to 4mm. And if anybody's not sure on the 4mm beads, like what kind of size, let me see if I can find my, oh, there we are. I do have my big crafting box. Now, 4mm beads, in comparison, okay, this is 8mm, and the 4mm is this. That's how small. Now, I normally use like 8 to 10, which is these ones. I do need to go to Walmart to pick them up. Now, not every Walmart is going to have a good crafting aisle. Now, I could suggest is using kids' kits to make jewelry, as it does have a lot of varieties. I got like letters, numbers. I got seed beads, which is like basically under 1mm. I got a whole variety. I even got wooden beads for a lot of crafts. Those ones I really haven't figured out what I was going to do. And I bought them for the thought that I was going to use them in a big project, and I never did. So that didn't really turn out the way I really hoped for. And the other thing, like I said, I really do need to get more of is like these ones here. These I think like the 6mm ones. Yeah. And then I also got a few left of these ones here. Those are just the ones I usually use on the bottom of all my earring styles and stuff like that. And no, I'm not wearing my one shirt. I know you see it always in my one video. Unfortunately, it's in the wash. So we're going to leave that. I also do have some other crafting things. Like I use these, and I've used that to make, and I've shown you how to hand make the bracelets like we used to have in the 90s. And thank you for all who love that. I even had the one comment saying like they said it brought back such nostalgic thoughts to them. Like, you know, well, it's glad to hear that, you know. And it's fun to go back and kind of like remember back when you were in high school and stuff like that. So anyway, so we're gonna just keep it simple. And just like I say, if you're going to make these type of earrings, just kind of get an idea on what you want to kind of really look like. Like I said, the one is just really, really colorful. Kind of like, it has like those kind of like variated colors. And that's the ones from the one kit I'm going to be using today. You don't need to have that long of a, like, you know, hook for the top, and it doesn't even need to be that big. You can even put just a simple bead on the top and a couple beads on the bottom and just kind of loop up a couple of things, and you're good to go. The more work you want to put into it, entirely up to you. You could use a bigger or smaller bead you really want. I just be careful with a lot of larger beads. It's more better for necklaces than it is for like earrings at times. Like I said, I did show you a couple of earrings with the larger kind of bases and stuff like that. That's kind of a different story. I will look at my trails to see if I did post these ones here. Now, this is about a medium difficulty in designing. It was really kind of tricky. Now, I do have a couple of varieties. I think I got the green, the blue, and the red. And I think a pink, if I can remember. I got so many kits everywhere. It gets a little crazy. And I'll keep you posted when I get some new stuff in, kind of like, you know, getting some stuff. So anyway, for most of the stuff, I should pay close stuff so I can show you. Depending on this, now this kit does have, and this is the one from Temu, 3 different sized beads. So they do get the smaller ones, the medium ones, and then the larger ones. They're all, of course, separated. And after this will also become kind of part of my kit here. It's the same one anyways. It's just another one that I had. I think I had white beads in it, and then I just used up all the white beads, and then like, okay. So let's get started with that. All right. I'm going to put these things away because you really don't want to make sure you declutter, because like sometimes when you're crafting, if you have too much out, which I do too, you're going to really have like a big headache trying to figure out things. I did try to make some really weirdy kind of based earrings. I don't know. I might dismantle that one and kind of like, kind of base it off. We're going to put this up. I do got some loose wire. I'm going to keep those aside and then fits else. So for this one project, again, you're going to need some good beading wire. It doesn't have to be this color, like I always say. It could be any of these colors. Anything, any type of wire, as long as it has like the availability to go through, beads and stuff like that. Second, you're going to need your big colors of your choice, and make sure that we kind of do that. And also, too, on third is you're going to need your closures for your ends, for the top of your earrings. And finally, all your basic tools. So, I do got my crosswise, and I got my snippers for my wire, and I also got my holding ones. And that's the ones because I always have to hold it with my one hand, if you don't really know. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I'm really welcome you to the channel. So anyways, let's get started on this. Now, this one, I don't think we'll do the big earrings because I really don't want to go into too much on that one. So I'll give you the tutorial. You can make them as big or small, just add or subtract as many beads as you want to do. Okay, I have to find my earring the end of this one. So if we can find the end on this, we can actually get started. Okay, there we go. Oh, I thought I had. Okay. I guess that's one of the few things. If you don't really know, I do have a lot of beading wire that I kind of like. So now I do try to use up a lot of the scraps, and I try to use leave as little kind of showing as much as possible. If I can find where did the end go on this one? I had to untangle it the other day, and it was really messy. Oh, there it is. There we go. All right, so we're going to get ourselves some wire. I was about to say, now if you have that same problem and you can't find where the end of your wire is, if you do have a bit of masking tape, just put a little bit on the end. So in the case of how messy this kind of looks right now, you could easily find it, and then you can just work with it, and you can thread it through. Now, I'm not going to fully unwind this because it does make a bigger mess, and it kind of pops out of my kit, and then it gets really, really messy. And also tomorrow, I'm going to be picking up some new fresh wire because I am practically out, and I think I got my last 3 rolls. Yeah. I bought some just before Christmas, actually, and I got 6 rolls, and I'm down to only the last 3, which is basically a pack, and even it shows how much I paid for it there. There you go, $1.25. And yes, the dollar store, Dollarama does carry them. They're $1.25. They still are. I think they're still $1.25. I think they're already $1.75 now. It doesn't matter. They're still pretty good. You could go to Dollar Tree if you have a Dollar Tree. If you have a Michael's, go to Michael's. Even crafting shops, I know have most of it. If you get fortunate and you do have a kind of bead shop, you can even go there. But really, kind of they tend to charge more if you don't go very often. So anyway, we're gonna get ourselves a bit here. We're gonna put this in there. And stuff like that. So there we go. And we have our basic. Now, I would say give yourself about 2 meters, because like it's kind of a bit of like a thread through, not fully, but you're making like the loops for the wings, so you really want to give yourself a little extra on what they weigh. Now, to start, you're going to make your course, and then everything is make your end. So we're going to kind of like fold that over and kind of do that. Sorry if I spent too much time at the beginning talking about all my beads here. Some people have been saying they don't mind me, chatting about some of the projects I took on and stuff like that. I do appreciate that. I do tend to talk a lot when I do my crafts and stuff like that. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention and that I did, and I kind of think that this was quite lovely, is this. Like a Lucky Charm kind of like thing. And it's kind of got like this enclosure. It's got the lobster claw on the end and stuff like that. And this was really, like, I would say easy kind of thing. I'm going to put that in there. I do also have some little jars on the side. I won't do that in this video. I think I made like something like 4 months ago was a video on showcasing some of the stuff I had done. And yeah, I was probably kind of, some people were like, wow, that's one big collection and stuff. Like, yeah, it is quite big, but I'm missing some pieces. Now I gotta go around and hunt for it. All right, start. Now we got our end kind of looped in. You can do this whether you use like, pliers, whatever, you can get those. And you make kind of your hook on that one. Now, to do the head, I would just suggest one thing. It's just really simple. Use black beads because they're really simple, and dragonflies usually heads are usually that. Normally you would use 2, but I'm not going to really go into that. Like if you really want me to do one with like really like full details, I will attempt it in a video. Just let me know in the comments below. But this is just kind of like a simpler version to that. So you can still enjoy and have some earrings further. Now, depending on the body you're going to add into the, like I wouldn't say make too big of beads. I would even use like this. I'm going to use like this one is going to have a black one. Let's put this in. I'm just trying to hold this. There we go. And we're going to have a green one. There we go. So I'm not going to make this like a large dragonfly, and it's already like 3 kind of high. So now we're going to move on to doing kind of the tail. And this one would be like, you do this twice, of course. This one I'm just going to show you just the simple with the one, and you just make the other one. Now for the tail, I would just say pick a color that kind of goes. I also have these, and I use them for the tail in my other creations. Again, these are Dollarama. I'm going to use about 3-ish, 2-3-ish, because you don't want it to be overly huge, but you want to kind of give it like, a bit of a nice earring, stuff like that. So, let's see. Okay, some of the those are a little small. All right, you're gonna pull it up. You're gonna bring it to the end, and so we kind of got like this stuff right here. Where am I? I'm missing a bead. Oh, there it is. All the way up here. It's like a little short. There. So you got like your base. Just work with this like how much you want. This is gonna be like. Now, I could easily just take it down to like 1, 2, like so we basically had, but this is supposed to kind of represent the kind of like the body of the end, like the inside. So this is how I hold, and now we're going to take our end of our pliers, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do is take that and we're going to wind it and do this. Give it a couple times. So you want to really come it loose, and you kind of got like a little thing. Just remember, this is the end that you're going to use for where you're going to put your loop hooks and stuff like that. Now, this is the part where you kind of have to kind of work through it. So taking your end, you're going to come back up, and you're going to come back up through to a point on the head of this. So we're going to go over here. Now, you're not going to go fully all the way up because like you're going to make it so you need to put earrings and wings on. So We're gonna go ahead, just give me a second. Threading it through. Okay. It's a little tricky sometimes because sometimes it's sliding, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just... Okay. There we go. I got that through. There you go. Now, you're going to come about, like I said, just below that top bead that we put in. Running over a little bit of time here. I got somebody coming over, so I'm trying to finish this like as quickly as possible, so you can kind of get an idea of what has to be done. Again, don't throw it. Now you can bend it so you can find it like it's trying to. There, and just pull it through. I do apologize. They're just letting me know, like, to get ready. I gotta get ready to go. Okay, again, so this is what happens. So you're going to come up now. Again, don't go all the way up to the top of your beanie. Now, here's what I would do at this point. Now, I would say don't find anything too like big, but that's where I came in with this because, like, due to the fact it does have two different sizes. The bottom is big for the top, and the top is big for the so. I would just say stick with like this part because you're going to do this. So you're going to wrap it around because you want to kind of give it that kind of like round shape, and we're going to show you the last step in a few minutes. And we're going to go and we're going to wrap that. Give yourself a few of those. All right. And then we're going to come on the other side and we're going to do the exact same thing. There. There. So you kind of got like a little thing. Now, you're going to notice like there's going to be like a bundle underneath of it. Like that's just going to be kind of thing. Now, I kind of haven't figured out how to kind of like counteract that just yet, but this is just to kind of give you an idea what you could do for some nice earrings. Now you're going to make it look like it's going to have a like kind of like a floral pattern on its back. So you're going to kind of do this like the 4 ways. So it's going to look like I'm going to show you in a minute here, and then you can kind of just, you know. But this is why like you don't want to do it too like thing. But I just want to make sure that the wings are not going to come like loose when kind of like doing anything. So in there. Now we're going to put this. Now I'm just going to make sure I get this off and put it on. There, quick, and everything. Fortunately, after this, I gotta get ready to go. So, everything. Just be careful. Don't be too much of a rush. Everything. All right. So you're gonna have kind of like it's gonna look like a floral kind of pattern. Don't worry about that. Now you're gonna snip off all the excess. Don't snip off the base of the earring and stuff like that. You want to be careful. Now it kind of did come a little bit loose. Don't worry about that. I'll kind of rethread that through. And we're going to now just kind of make our thing. this is kind of like the thing about like not rushing when you're doing these things. This is kind of like I guess one of those videos I'm going to show you what it is like when you rush and what it is when you don't rush, and like how much of a big difference. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to just thread that through so that it kind of gives you kind of like a good, strong, secure, tight area. Now, it kind of has this kind of thing, but that's fine. I can fix that. You could, at this point, like adjust the wings at this point, stuff like that. I managed to salvage the situation, so you kind of got these. Now, it's not like perfect or anything, it's not like my other one. But take your time when you're doing these things. Projects should not be rushed. I know I'm rushing at this point. I shouldn't take it's not really a thing for my videos. Anyway, you may want to play adjusting and stuff like that. So you kind of have. Like, it doesn't look that bad. And adjust the wings, so like kind of thing. And it's kind of pretty, like, in everything. And like for me, like I like to adjust the tail so it kind of has like a little kind of thing. It does look like a dragonfly. So like if you're going to take it, kind of like fly through. And like it's really simple, just simple loop hooks and stuff like that. And you're kind of doing, kind of like putting on the earring clasp and stuff like that. I keep checking because I think I'm supposed to knock on my door and I don't want to post that in my video. I do have some more jewelry coming in. It should be in the next like 2 days or so. I will kind of keep you posted with some new updates on that. I also got myself some headphones for like when I'm walking and stuff like that. So this is how I open up like stuff. As you can see, like I kind of got it lift open, and we're just going to put the like this on. And I got the, like I said, these are the hooks I'm using currently. We're going to do that. Put that there. Put that there. Clip that tight. Yeah. Really simple. Like I said, if you don't want to like kind of like make the dragonfly look like he's like actually flying, whatever, because they do kind of like fold themselves when they're flying. I guess it's just a way to maybe, or just flatten it out. And there you go. This isn't bad, like considering it's not that big. So I mean, I would say this looks really nice with like a nice, you know, soft like looking colored dress or something like that. But anyway, that's it. I really want to get that done, and I'm sorry I did rush it that last little bit. Like I know I got people calling me like, "Oh, hurry up, I gotta go." So I'm going to cut it short here. I will do the other videos very soon, and I will kind of do the other earring, and I will do the video with that, and as long with another set of earrings and stuff like that. But like I said, come up with supplies. Like, they doesn't have to be like I just kind of used like a little saucer, and I kind of made like that for my like jewelry and stuff like that, stuff. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. I did kind of go into a little bit too much, and I don't want to make these videos, like I say, too long for you. But yeah,